Happy morning, everybody. A great afternoon and a wonderful evening. When we meditate every day, there are three things that are happening. This process of meditation, that simple breath mindfulness meditation, we're doing three things. Three things are happening to us. First one, as we are emptying our mind, when we observe the breath, as we empty the mind, we recognize that the significant percentage of those thousands of thoughts as they're going away, we stop interfering in the functioning of the body. So if 80% of 50,000 is 40,000 thoughts go away, just in a few weeks of practice, most of them, all of them will take some time, but most of them will go away. And when they go away, and since every thought, positive or negative, has a direct interference into the body, we learn that through the understanding of epigenetics, but every thought and every feeling has a direct interference into the body. And when we are regularly meditating, then we are taking out that impact that most of these 40,000 thoughts can cause to the body, assuming a person is having 50,000. And it is more for those who are a lot more anxious and always worrisome. So that's one. So when we take away the interference of these thoughts in our body, then we're allowing this intelligent machine, intelligent instrument to work beautifully at its best. And each of us have our own version of how a body is so intelligent. We know it. Very little has been understood about the body, even today, by all sciences put together. A lot has been understood, but still, when it comes to, when you understand that if there is 100% of the body, in that what percentage of it has been understood? Not there fully. Many ways it's not there. That's why every time we have something, then a new name is given, a new virus, new disease, new thing is being discovered. No answers to many problems that occurring through the medical science or others, because we still invest in inventing, we're still discovering. So, but however, when we stop interfering through the withdrawing the thoughts, then the body is functioning naturally at its best. We'll learn some of this as we go along. That's one. Number two, when we withdraw our attention of these thoughts, which are primarily either on the past or on the future, either on the past or on the future, and we withdraw all of them, then what is left is the present moment, the generous present moment. That's everything is happening right now, right here. We all understand this concept of being in the present moment. So when we withdraw our attention of the past, of the future, then we are in the present moment. It's also called that awareness, it's also called the mindfulness, and we become automatically into the present moment. We come into the present moment. So that means in a wakeful time, where if you are living with very less number of thoughts, then you are naturally got to be nowhere but in the present moment. And when we are in that moment, then we are enjoying that moment because we're putting all our attention into it. So we have to, but then enjoy or be in the moment, whether you enjoy or what, it is be in the experience that present moment lot more than if you have been going away here and there. So that is two. We come into the present moment, and then what's happening? This energy that is otherwise getting dissipated of the past, of the future, that all of that is bringing back. We're bringing back. Where is that energy going? Every thought is energy is dissipated, and so when we bring all of that thought, when you drop all of that thought, and then we are in the present moment, because if past is not there, future is not there, we are in the present moment, and all that energy is now at our disposal. That energy, we're bringing it back into the generous present moment, we call. What's there is right now. So we bring all that energy into the present moment to apply into the present moment, or anything that we do in the present moment which is going to create a future reality, as thoughts and feelings create a reality. So that is two. We automatically bring ourselves to the present moment, and then bring back all that energy into the present moment, and then we have an opportunity to apply onto that thing which we are wanting to experience more. So this is how we direct the energy into something that we want to experience more by being in the present moment. Now the third thing that happens, and we know that when we have that energy, then automatically we can do more on whatever that we want. Right? It's called that, we call that focus, or being attentive on a single thing. So we got all that energy. That's why just by meditating, we bring that energy back, and then so we're going to apply it onto something that we are very interested, so we start manifesting. Now the third thing, when we are emptying ourselves, then, as quantum physics says, that we are really not matter, we are more energy. So when we empty ourselves, when we withdraw our attention, then we start experiencing that emptiness and energy. We are becoming of that energy. When the moment you start becoming energy, then we are contiguous one large field. So we are, from a body, we are moving, shifting ourselves into this energy field. The place where we experience lightness or heaviness, we experience where non-existence of some body parts, where you totally do not even realize that you are there. That means you are becoming energy. From physical matter, we become that energy. When we become energy, then we become this whole field by ourselves. It's like this. If you are a team member in your company, you have certain amount of information to make a decision or to perform your duties. Now suppose you are given every week, one day you are made manager. To understand, and then that team has 100 people. Every week, one day you are made manager. Then you are looking now, you are exposed to all the information as a manager, what's happening. What are the challenges for this person, that person, this one, then you made a manager. So you understand, not only now as a team member your point of view, but as a manager you understand the points of view of many people. That one day where you are listening in. And then you're also exposed to various information that is available in terms of how things are working. So guess what happens when you have a bigger picture? When you understand, when you access things about everybody. I'm sure you agree with me that your performance will be different. If you're complaining before, now you understand, say, oh, it seems like I've been so lucky compared to the XYZ. He's got a bigger challenge than me. Why am I cribbing about this? What am I complaining about when there are 5 other people who are really, really struggling because of various reasons? I don't know why I've got this judgment to manager, because he's got all these challenges. So when we elevate ourselves into that thing, then we know that we have a bigger picture, bigger understanding. So it becomes easy to go back into our position and then work. That's exactly what happens. When we become this larger field, we operate from a field where everything is created. So when we become that larger field, which is much bigger than the team member, this is the whole thing that exists. So when we become that, now suddenly we have so much of extra insight, just like that manager. We get an extra insight to operate. Of course, we have an extra responsibility to operate, but we have an extra insight to operate. The difference is the manager is limited, here the field is unlimited. So we suddenly become and operate from a position of unlimited resource, unlimited capability, unlimited energy. So that's the third thing that happens, dear friends. So when we meditate, not interfering in our body, so we are letting our body to function most naturally. And then 2, we are channelizing all the energy into the present moment. 3, we are becoming that intelligent field or emptiness and field from which we operate, from which we start receiving. We understand and we receive several information. We have the capability to understand the whole much, much differently. Now, this field is very intelligent. If all the larger planets, larger stars, these macro bodies are perfectly existing in coherently, in unison. Can you see that fan? How is it happening? If all the planets, the macro bodies, if there are billions and billions of stars and planets that are together working, operating coherently, is it by chance? We got to understand this. It couldn't be by chance. Karthikeyan said we are microcosm, there is a macrocosm. And if this microcosm, if we understand the body, we understand this whole thing. Now, in our body itself, I was quite fascinated when I heard in our body itself, the 25 million cells are produced every second, and equal number is going away, which you and I, we not even are aware of, but things are happening in our body so easily. Trillions of operations, cell operations are happening. Trillions of cell operations are happening every second. And none of this can be by chance. That beautiful mango tree in summer season produces hundreds of mangoes perfectly. I don't know what it takes to make one mango by us, but it just produces so naturally. So when we look at all of this, dear friends, we'll have to agree that there is something more intelligent out there. And then when we become that intelligent force, and that's quantum physics says it's that infinite field, and when we become that intelligence out there, and then when we meditate, when we empty ourselves, from Vedic philosophy, of Indian Vedic philosophy, we are becoming that intelligence. It's called consciousness. We are becoming that consciousness which is outside the body but is always paying attention to us. So we're becoming that and then paying attention from a different level. So these are the 3 things that happen to us, and so we start having a beautiful life, great health, applying the energy into the future that we would like, because we got all the energy into the present moment while experiencing the present moment very, very gladly. So there's no regret that, oh, my time has gone. What did I do 20 years ago? Last 20 years, I don't even know what I did. Only thing I did was to go to office and come back and then be in that race and then try to acquire and acquire. Very few moments of life that we can recollect. But when you become a meditator, be in a present moment, then we start experiencing the present moment. We start recollecting. We start having so much of happiness by being with people, by being in the work that we do actively, not in the past or present. Number 2, and number 3, we become the larger field. So we start receiving, and we're operating from a different position altogether. So, dear friends, this breath mindfulness meditation, Anapanasati meditation that we practice, is what is getting us into these 3. That simple technique is giving us a tremendous benefit. And then shall we go into it once again today? We relax ourselves and make a commitment to ourselves that we are going in deeply into ourselves. Today, when we make an intent, by the way, every time we make an intent, that intent works. So we can instruct, because we are the master of this body. We can instruct with a sincerity and say, today I'm completely emptying myself. I'm going to set aside my rest of the day and I'm going to give my best. And this time is for me, because so far it's always been an external action. But this time, when we are part of this meditation group, and this is for us, our internal. So we're going in. So we say, this is for me exclusively. It is not for anybody else. Because in this meditation, I have to forget everybody else and only me. And so make your commitment that let's go and do our best. And those of you who are new, we are doing two things. We are doing breath mindfulness meditation called Anapanasati, which is the larger part of the process, where we are observing our normal natural breath. So the process is simple. You're sitting in a chair on the floor. Three things you're doing: remove your specs, close your eyes, cross your fingers into fingers, keep your hands comfortable in your lap, and then cross your feet. So this is position where you're sitting comfortably, and then the process here, it's called breath mindfulness meditation, is to observe our natural breath. Take any point in your nose and see that breath going in, coming out. You observe that natural breath, and then slowly our mind thoughts become empty. As you observe, and then slowly breath is becoming shorter or lighter, and as that is happening, your mind is also becoming empty. And as you continue that slowly, where there'll be a point where either you don't recollect that you're observing the breath, that means you're going into the emptiness, or this is so lighter that it becomes dot, the non-existence of the breath. That's the time you let go. You let go. Don't try to hold on to it, and let go, because there's nothing to observe, and you're going to the other side. The third thing that can happen is that you are actually going into thought. So bring back your attention the moment you realize you're thinking. You're to again breath again. Again, after a few seconds, go up to the thought, bring it back. This is the process that you keep doing. It's not expectation that you'll be totally empty during the whole meditation. So keep oscillating between thought and breath. The mind takes you to thought, and you have to bring it back into the breath every time you realize it. That's one. Then prior to doing that, we're doing something called heart elevation process, where the posture is same except that you put your hands on your chest area. This we do it for about 5 minutes only. Chest area, and then what I would like you to feel is your any of these heightened, elevated emotions called love, gratitude, compassion. Just feel those emotions in your heart. I'm going to guide, just follow my guidance for this process, where you're keeping your hands on your chest area with eyes closed, and then I'm going to ask you to take a long, relaxing breaths, and then start feeling that emotion of love, gratitude. Here you try to recollect an event of love, gratitude from your life, and then feel it. And the science behind it and the heart coherence we'll talk about one of the days. But by just living at heightened emotion it helps us to go into the emptiness of the mind much quickly. So now relax yourself. All right, as we are relaxing, dear friends, I'd like us to today understand a little more on what is meditation and what meditation is not, and then how this whole brain waves and how our brain waves getting impacted with meditation, and very important aspects of this whole what happens inside the brain. We understand this a little bit more than many concepts are structured around it. So first, many say there are a lot of myths about what is meditation. Several times at workplace, when I used to ask people, hey, we are doing meditation, so why don't you do it? Yes, I'm doing my marathon, that's my meditation. I do regularly run, that's my meditation. I do my walk in the nature, that's my meditation. This is an answer that normally you get. But understand that meditation is not that. Today, by third day, if any is still thinking that meditation is my walk, then it is not that. That is mindfulness. There is meditation, there is mindfulness. When people say, my yoga is my meditation, my physical exercise is meditation, I just sit down and I read the book and then I go into it. Oh, I do a lot of cooking and then I'm just so involved that that's my meditation. Understand that is when they say that it is mindfulness, that you are very, very mindful on one activity that you really enjoy and then like, so you don't have any distractions. Mindfulness is not necessarily, if you go back and connect the three things I said, 1, 2, 3, empty the mind so no body interference. Bring back the energy into the present moment when you don't have any thoughts. And so you can apply it into future, so you can actually create a lot more future. And the third one is connecting to this whole emptiness and then become and operate as a larger entity. You can easily apply and say mindfulness when you are doing that activity, so you are absolutely in that activity. So the mindfulness is to be in the present moment, non-judgmentally, and then fully be aware of that activity that we are doing. So my jogging, my running, my walking, my reading book, my spending time in nature, where you are totally involved into that is great. So because you're not going anywhere here, there, so naturally it's helping us to gain all that energy during that time. But in meditation is to empty our mind. We are practicing the technique of emptying our mind. So what is that we're doing? As we are practicing during the meditation process to empty, we are training our brain. We're training our brain to not feed the thought. Instead, we're training our brain to stay away from the thought. And when you train the brain again and again and again, anything repeated, it goes deep into the subconscious, that it becomes a skill that when you train that thing, so then during the wakeful time, also you have trained because the skill is there in the subconscious, so it keeps projecting, and as a result, we stop feeding our thought during the wakeful time too. So in a meditation practice, you are absolutely, as you practice more and more, then not only during meditation, but during outside the meditation also, you are keeping yourself away from the thought, because that's been trained to the brain, the doing brain. So meditators, long-term meditators, they really are able to spend a long time in lesser and lesser thought states during wakeful times. That means in lesser and lesser unwanted thought, unnecessary thought, negative thought. So meditation is becoming very breath mindful during the time to empty the mind. And when you do that, then normal wakeful time, you are quite a bit empty automatically. Number two, when you are empty, naturally you are applying your energy onto that, because there is no thought of past and present energy onto the present moment. And three, of course, in meditation, when you are becoming empty, we are connecting to that quantum field, that infinite energy field. Doesn't happen in mindfulness. When we say when we are fully mindful of a specific activity. So I want to call out the distinction. So mindfulness is mindful, being full of the activity, whereas meditation is empty of the mind, emptying the mind, even for some time. So meditation, now in addition, so meditation is not an intellectual process. It's not just merely understanding that, okay, there is this energy, there is this, and there is, I'm not the body, I'm this divine soul, this and that. So it's not an intellectual process to understand intellectually. If we study any amount of Bhagavad Gita or any amount of any doctrines, but if we don't practice, then we merely have it as intellectual understanding. That's all. Okay. Many people say, oh, my destiny is written. Read somewhere and the destiny is written. We all just very limited. There is some superpower, that's all is there, but we are nothing. Don't even know, but then we just say it. And then meditation is a process where we are going very scientifically understanding that is my destiny written? If quantum physics says thoughts, feelings create reality, then can I change it? It should, right? If there's no exception, we should be able to do it. It's not an intellectual process, dear friends. And it is practice and experience something. Whatever that, for example, I'm saying now is just an intellectual matter, right? And becomes, so first whatever we learn becomes knowledge, and the knowledge experience becomes wisdom. The knowledge experience becomes wisdom. I can research any amount on going to America for the first time. I can take out all the details from my friends and family and then say what happens in customs and immigration, here, there, all that. But then unless I experience it, it becomes still a knowledge, right? And it is there. And then when we are there, of course it helps. It needs to be there so that you understand and then you can navigate yourself. But you got to experience to say, what is it? And until that time, it doesn't stick. The moment you experience once, then it is there with us. You experience deeply, it is there with us for a long time. Meditation is not a mental exertion. We don't fight the thought. Instead, we are not doing any mind activity. Now, the breath mindfulness is a concentration technique. There are diffusing techniques and concentration techniques, but however, breath mindfulness technique is where, because we're not even aware that we're breathing all the time and then still breathing. So when you are applying your attention on the breath, which is so gentle, so light, it is the least of exertion and then least of one of the lowest concentration techniques where you are on it, and then you very soon you forget that you're on it, because that's the nature of the breath. So meditation is not mental exertion. Meditation is not contemplation. Contemplation means we must do contemplation as a great place. People say, my meditation, yes, I go in and then contemplate is not meditation, because again, we have to empty ourselves. Contemplation is where we sit down every 6 months, every 12 months, every 2 years, and say, what have I learned in the last 3 months overall? How has my life has been? Where did I start from? Where did I go? What are those larger events in life? Why did that happen? How did I accidentally get into this meditation technique? How did I get into that job? And then what did I learn? When we go back and then sort of reflect upon our life, larger life, that's contemplation. And we're always deriving a larger answer. So contemplation is different from meditation. Meditation is not prayer, certainly not worshipping. They're definitely not. People say, I'm going in, I'm sitting at my prayer, I'm going in to my meditation. Your prayer, when you take out yourself completely, and then when we become that empty, then it becomes meditation. So few people, always what I say, there are exceptions, right? It's exceptions. So the few people are really going into that total emptiness where they took themselves out completely. They've forgotten the body, they've forgotten the mind, but they again also do not have any mind activity, active chanting, active this, active that. That's not meditation at all. It is not giving us the opportunity to experience our inner grander self. Meditation is not chanting or not having any mantras. It is not another pure relaxation technique. We might have come for relaxation, but it is much more. It's not just a relaxation. Meditation is not visualization. So many people, when they understand manifestation, when you read the books like, for example, Secret and this and that, and we get to know about visualization. It's a great technique. It's a powerful technique. But visualization is an active process to actually visualize what we wish to have. It's a great technique. It's supported with meditation, becomes so powerful for manifestation. But meditation by itself is different, which is emptying our mind. Meditation is not a self-hypnosis, because there is no I. In a process, you need to have something to regress ourselves, and there is no I. Right, friends? So there is various aspects of how you understand meditation. Then what is meditation? Which we learned. But meditation is the total cessation or ending of the restless thoughts of the mind, slowly and slowly. We understood this. We are emptying the mind, and then it is also the gateway. It's connecting to that larger intelligence that's surrounding us. When we are applying this process regularly, and then we are slowly connecting to that emptiness. When I said that become empty, and become aware of that no body, no thing, no place. So that's what we are doing when we're withdrawing that attention off of the whole matter, which is many consider is an illusion. The matter is a reflection of our thought and feeling to be that. And so when we withdraw that attention, so we become that intelligence that is surrounding us. That's why when we say Aham Brahmasmi, we actually experience that concept, experience that state. And we apply it. We slowly experiment. Nothing comes on the day. Not day one. But we experiment more and say how thoughts create reality. So do I have that power? Can I create anything that I would like? Can I gain that happiness the way I want it? All of that as we apply, then we recognize that yes. Meditation is a still mind state. That means there is no other activity. It's non-judgmental awareness. In meditation, when we are there, we are non-judgmentally being there. That means what? How much ever I know Karthikeyan sir as of yesterday or this morning, or how much I know Ramani sir, or Ramesh from St. Louis, whoever that is, how much ever know about them before, but at this moment when I see them, can we be zero about them? What we don't know anything about them and then listen in? If we know something about them and then we start applying that knowledge non-judgmentally, we start applying. So if you become zero of any given situation and then be there, then you become non-judgmental. So meditation helps us to become zero, so then we can become non-judgmental. As a being state, meditation is a state where we are that. We are still, we are empty, we are loving, we are in that state. We are relaxed. You are going, okay, so you're cooking, suddenly some big sound comes. You're not just bothered, sir, because you're just looking at it, you're not overreacting. You're looking at it, okay, somebody fallen down, fine. So I need to go and help. But we don't just overreact and say, oh, what happened? We don't do that. Because you not recognize that that moment is gone, and then yes, you need to go and help, but then there is that reaction is not necessary, dissipating a lot of energy and scaring people around. It's a process for self-exploration. Finally, meditation is a process for self-explorations where we are exploring ourselves. If all we know about the matter is 0.01% and 99% is an energy, are things that we do not know. And then meditation is a way to explore. Because, for example, some people say, hey, I'm suddenly seeing this deep incident. I don't know where it's coming from. In the subconscious, there's so many layers of various memories are buried deep inside. And in meditation is pulling those out one by one. Normally it's not accessible. The deeper subconscious states and things are not accessible to us. And then with meditation, we're pulling those out. Let me show, we're pulling those out, which are otherwise not accessible to us. So with this slide, we're going to close our today's session. So how meditation impacts the brain waves and mind. On the left side picture, I want you to pay attention. Conscious mind, subconscious mind. Conscious mind is 5%, subconscious is 95% for an average person. For meditators, these are shifting. Regular meditators, these are shifting. Conscious mind is where the logic, reasoning, creativity, decision making, everything is out there. Subconscious mind, I talked about anything that's repetitive. They're all there. Now you see something in the middle, it's called analytical mind. That analytical mind is always trying to reason of anything that's happening to us based on our past. And that is like acting like a barrier. That's acting like a barrier. That analytical mind is zero for a newborn. Is not developed for a child up to 5 years. They're very, very open. They're taking in everything that comes in. Now, subconscious mind is where the long-term memory, and it's very intelligent, and it's there, and it is projecting for ourselves, even though consciously we want to do something, but subconscious projects stuff. Because it's very powerful. Now, for a child, if you say something inadvertently, accidentally, that analytical mind is not there, so whatever we take, it goes straight into the subconscious, from conscious to subconscious, it goes straight in. That's why you tell a child, your voice doesn't sound great, don't sing. If you say it, the child takes it. There's no analytical mind for the child to distinguish, and just takes right in and then gets recorded in subconscious. What is subconscious is a long-term memory. It is there with the child forever, for a long time, and which means that they take something out of it as they grow, as they start analyzing with the thought that is there, then they withdraw. Potentially can withdraw. So we've got to be utmost careful in what we tell and not tell to young children, the toddlers, because their subconscious is readily accessible. Now the beauty is for meditators, that analytical mind is becoming thin and thin and thin and thin. So for meditators, we are going in and accessing the subconscious. So whatever we learn, we are able to start recording more faster. We're able to receive and then it goes inside. What we learn, it goes inside, because meditation is removing the barrier of analytical mind. That's what you see on the right side. So wakeful, stressful state is where we are anxious and we are angry, and this and that is that high beta state on the right side. These are brain waves. Wakeful relaxation, right now. You are with me, you are actively listening in, pleasant, right? So it's a wakeful, relaxing state where you are actively listening in. Whenever we are getting down to reading a book, we are into that state. we are walking in nature, you're into that state, right? About to sleep, we are going into that state. And then going in below is, and when you start meditating, then our brain waves are now start cooling off and then goes down in frequency. So initial meditative state is to go into that alpha state. From beta, we go into alpha. So brain waves slow down. And then further, deeper meditation, we go into a deep meditation state, or sometimes we go into the sleep state, where many people say, I'm going into sleep. This is a theta state. And then some more, and then we go into what we call a trance state, and then also a deep REM sleep, where there is no dreams, and then it is like absolutely you don't know what happened to yourself. We know that. Every night, many of us experience it. So difference. So meditation is taking us from a wakeful relaxation, stressful states to straight down into a deeper, slow down, relaxing states. And that deep relaxation, that alpha state, is where we gain a lot of solution to the problems. If you are thinking, if you have a challenge, if something is there, you want a solution, a design, a product, and this and that, then when you go and meditate, a lot of times people come out with solutions. And you go further, and the deep meditation is where we gain insights. People are creating new things, insights. And you go further, the deep sleep state or the deep meditation state, and then a delta state, these are states of also healing the body. That's also happening. When I go deeper, and then the body healing is also happening of various conditions. So meditation, by default, is taking us down and down into this lowered, slow down brainwave states, so that we are, of course, peaceful, relaxing, but then also gaining insights, and then gaining insights to healing, all that we're doing. These concepts are understood in applying how we overcome sleep, how we gain perfect health, then how in manifestation what happens. So we'll use this picture occasionally later on as we go along. So dear friends, breath mindfulness meditation is one of the simplest techniques that we are practicing, which is fundamentally emptying our mind. So if we are here part of this process, if we are used to something, I say, in order to gain the maximum benefit, follow this process, leave out everything else. If we mix two techniques together, because we may be used to something, I don't know what's the outcome of it, what we may get out of it. There's a technique that Buddha followed, there's a technique that Patrici followed, and the millions are following. We know that if you follow this technique in entirety, it can give us the benefit. But if we mix things, at the end of 40 days, the benefit could be different, I don't know. So my request is, think about it, and then look at, anyway we are here, so through as much as possible the whole breath mindfulness meditation. With that, I wanted to introduce one slide quickly about our team, and then we will listen into, but let me introduce our team. So we have a lot of groups that we created, WhatsApp groups. I think some have joined, still more to join. And each of the meditators, that Sheetal, Sridevi, Susie Nair, Shantipriya, Sharu Patil, Ladini, Lakshmiji, Jagan, Nagapradeep, Ravindra, Rohit Thakur, Rakesh, as the team facilitators are helping one group, so they are there directly interacting with you. Each team is named after an emotion, elevated emotion, love, gratitude, kindness, compassion, appreciation, passion. So there are elevated emotions is what we named after. Fun. Associate ourselves and bring out that elevated emotion. Use that as a way to go into that heartful, heart elevation states. Right. So they're named after something and an elevated emotion. And so they're all there supporting. We're going to listen in to some of them as we go along. We have a lot of time. And Chandra Mudali and plus some of the facilitators are doing the book clubs like Rakesh, and that'll get introduced to you. We are doing the book clubs next week, starting next week, we're going to be introducing a concept of book club. We'll explain that slowly. And for supporting, we have Veena, Das, Koti, and then many more. Many more. So I have a picture that I'm showing right now. And then Vani, who is the co-founder of Buddha Seva Foundation, is there, absolutely supporting us. And then she's going to lead the counselors, and we're going to announce also the list of counselors as we go into the next week. If someone has a challenge and wanting to know more, understand more, and then more support and help, you could call the counselors. So with that, dear friends, Mr. S.K. Ghai is the chairman for Sterling Publishing, as Karthikeyan was mentioning, something that is produced thousands of books. And what's beautiful is when I got to know Sir, that even to date, he is involved in as many and maximum almost all the books been published in personal interest in seeing and the learning. So it's a great to have someone very detailed, hands-on, and then passionate.
10,500 books. 10,500 books.
10,500 books. So that count is increasing. So it's great to have, and then listening to this grandmaster who is really been contributing such significantly. Books have knowledge and wisdom, contributing so significantly to all of us. Sir, your message.
I'm really enjoying. I have again joined this 6 weeks program, and yesterday I had an experience of non-existence. And let me tell you that I am not a master. I am a learner.
Chandra, why can't we see him?
Yeah, guys, sir, we can't see you. I don't know if your video is not on.
It is not becoming on.
Okay.
I think there is some.
It's okay. It's okay.
No problem. So yesterday, I was non-existent and I relaxed totally. I can't tell you how much I relaxed. And today I had a different experience. And I had a white golden stars coming in, and then Sai Baba also came in, and I saw, but that was only for a few seconds. But when you said meditation, everything, whatever happens during meditation is fake, that thought keeps on coming to my mind. If meditation is what is fake, then why should we do it? That is the point, which is, I couldn't, rest of the meditation, that point was coming again and again in my mind. That whatever happens during meditation is fake, then what is, why we are calling it. So,
Okay.
yeah, sir.
I never. What did you say? I said it is. You said faith or fake. What are you saying, sir? Faith.
Whatever happens during meditation is fake.
Faith.
Fake. That means non-existent. That is right. It is
fake.
Fake.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Maybe I didn't say. Whatever happens in meditation is where we're experiencing this grander than the body, right? Something that beyond the body.
Yeah.
Non-existence, I don't know which statement to may be referring, but yes, there is, everything is energy, and with our observation, we collapse something, we see something, physical matter, and with our attention that disappears. So that is the nature of reality. But in meditation, for example, when you said you completely became non-existent, so that means you became one with that field. Must have been great feeling for you.
Yesterday it was that experience.
Yes. And then today, when you mentioned that you have seen glimpses of Sai Baba, so many times we have to understand that all these angels or masters are again another energy form. They're another energy form. And then where your attention goes, the energy flows. So we are able to attract in and then listen in and connect in to these masters. any energy form. Now we're stepping into a different field. But then if we recognize that there is a science of past life regression, which is there is so much of research is going on by many medical doctors, many scientists. But then everything is an energy form. And so we can connect in to that energy. So it is natural, it is common for people to also see and converse. Converse means what? And ask questions and then get a response. That is not coming from yourself, but it is coming from somewhere else. And so it is not a fake thing. It is something they're connecting with an energy of Sai Baba. That's probably why it's coming. Now, only we will tell over a period of time. If I'm seeing a vision, is it a thought, projection, or is it actually something that is coming to me? It is only we can tell by ourselves, as you will know, right? For example, yesterday when you experienced it, it is not a thought projection. It is an experience, you have it. And particularly when someone is seeing visions only like as pictures, then you will have to slowly a period, you'll distinguish and say, yes, this is my meditation experience, or this is merely something that I'm looking for, and so I got it. But that's an individual differentiation. But we are of course connecting to the various energies in the form of various pictures. Some people see beautiful scenes. They have not seen Himalayas, but they will go and then see all the beautiful Himalayan nature. Some say, I've seen some colors, can never be even, I have not seen anything like that. My personal life, somewhere multiple times, I've seen intricate fractal patterns, like those mandala designs, crop circle designs. Those are like intricate geometric patterns.
Yes.
In 3-dimensional, infinite in size. I was going through in a meditation session for almost like 10-12 minutes. It was the Doctor Stranger movie. If somebody recently seen where it moves, it shifts multiple things, then they have done a very good visualization, things shifting from one to the other. It's like that for me. 3-dimensional, crystal clear patterns that I'm seeing, and then there's no way I could have imagined something like that because it doesn't even come to me. But it just showed me that what is out there is much way beyond than what we can conceive and perceive. Thank you, sir. Thank you for a message. That's wonderful. Then you come back and then you're also actually experiencing more and more deeply. We could connect up. Thank you, everybody. So we'll meet back again tomorrow.